guys, and welcome here to the Jello Cup Series, the second to last race of the season. It is race number 35 of 36 here today from the Martinsville Speedway. Today joining us once again is Austin Shaw.
What's going on, guys?
And Austin, last chance to get to the championship 4 at Zenjoltis. No driver has locked in yet. The question is, which one could win today? And of course, what do these guys on the outside have to do?
Actually, if you're sixth on back of points, you gotta have a win.
And that is true. Patrick Smith, one of those guys. He is a former winner here, though. So, obviously, if he wins, he could go for number 2. There are also 2 rookies still alive that could take this championship.
Yes, they could.
In Samet Ozkan and Stacy Stickler. They're 2 veterans, Alexander Rowe and Trevor Collins, that make up the top 4 right now. And of course, they just gotta survive and advance.
Yep.
And of course, Zach Fitzwater, one of the guys on the outside looking in, we know he's got to win.
Yep.
And of course, even if he doesn't, I'd say he's had a pretty good season. Much better than his first 3 or 4. So, I'll give him that. Then, what else am I thinking of? But yeah, so, Carter Joey, he's got to get a win. But of course, Tim Randolph, he's got to get a win, or he can get points to get in. And of course, he's the only chance Chevy has at taking 5 drivers to their championships.
Yep.
So, we will see what happens. A lot can unfold. Martinsville is always a crazy track. And we will see what happens as we're going to roll the intro, and we'll be back in just a moment here on GCN.
Through turn 4. Just 24 heading up. It's going to be a drag race to the line. We're going down the front stretch. The 96 wins the race at Coda.
Here we go. The pace car is off. Austin, it's your call.
Alrighty, as they come down the front straightaway, the green flag is out. We are racing.
And the final race in the round of 8 is underway. Through turn 1, Tim Horton's going to get the lead, and the bottom lane is going to be the one that you want to take here. But don't give up on those guys on the outside. They are going to give all they got as Tim Horton leads the opening lap. You notice one thing, a lot of the guys in the round of 8 did not start up front. Now they have to avoid trouble. And we've seen it happen here. See, Tim Horton tries to take a really low line going into the corner. Again, this low line here at Martinsville, the way around the track. Battle for third back here. Nonigan Scotty almost won at Watkins Glen. He led back to the caution with 2 to go, but he just did not have enough fuel. Even with him saving, he didn't have enough to get back around. But you see the 1 is really giving him a fight on that outside lane. And this track ultimately has turned into a 2-lane racetrack right now. As the 1 continues to battle. And finally, the 15, it looks like, will clear. Or will he? No, he won't.
Now he won't.
Now he will. So if it's my guess, these playoff guys are going to have a really rough time. And how's about this? 2 friends battling it out for 8th and 9th. Carter Joey, keep in mind, he needs a win to advance. He's 8th in the playoff standings right now. Trevor Collins, he needs to get a good finish to stay alive. So he's not going to give that position up too easy.
Side by side.
And still side by side. That 34 tried to stick his nose in. He thought better of it, and his teammate almost ran him into the wall. There we go. Carter Joey's gonna get it this time. Someone blew an engine. It's
77.
yeah, Diego Yepes. And the bad season just gets worse for Diego Yepes. And unfortunate for the season 3 champ. Back behind, you see Patrick Smith. He's hung up on that outside lane. And again, we mentioned he's one of the guys who needs to win to advance. And the more positions he loses, the worse off he gets. And that 18, Samet Ozkan, he's leading the points entering this. Probably one of the, oh man, I think the 37 just got pushed.
Oof.
But somehow he drifts it. Yeah, the 35 not giving up very easy. Looking on back, you see there's still a lot of double file. No real 3 wide action, so that's always good to see.
Yes, it is.
Up ahead, though, Tim Horton's running away with this.
Huge lead.
Yeah, 1.8 seconds ahead. And it's only growing. Tim Horton won at Auto Club earlier this year. He'd sure like to get back to victory lane and prevent these playoff drivers from taking a win. Of course, none of the Penske guys are left in the playoff battle. So that's a tough break for those Penske Fords. Now Carter Joey's about to get passed by Casey Naneko. So the playoff guys moving backwards in this race. Not the start these guys wanted. But the good news, it's only lap 19, you got a lot of time. Stuff is bound to happen. It is Martinsville. So don't rule anybody out yet. Yeah, he has checked out. Whatever they did to this 12 car adjustment-wise, they sure are liking it. You see none of the playoff guys now in the top 10. Of course, you get a bipolar opposite track next race because we go to Zenjoltis, which has been home to the championship since the beginning. And of course, that track, very, very tricky and very, very high speed.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, one thing to keep in mind is you see Tim Horton, the non-playoff driver, leading the race. One thing to keep in mind, no driver in the Championship 4 has ever won a race at Zenjoltis to win the championship. The closest they've come is second. So maybe some ambition gonna come from some of these guys.
Pit stop should be coming up soon too.
Yes, they should. We're at lap 24 now. I saw a little bit of debris. I'm wondering if someone got hit. But no caution. Could also be the TV.
That too.
And Tim Horton is pacing these guys right now. And a little further back, see second, third, and fourth, pretty close. You gotta go about 2 seconds back to find Dylan Young and Charles Sanford. And of course, Sanford is your Talladega winner this season. Did it in overtime in a thrilling race. And Dylan Young, your regular season champ, who we thought would be a factor in the playoffs, unfortunately had a very brutal round of 16 and is now one of the non-playoff guys. You look on back, these guys that are in the playoffs are really struggling here at Martinsville, as now Carter Joey is under pressure from Mitchell Collins. And Mitchell Collins has got to be in a rock and a hard place right now. He's got his friend behind him, he's got a friend in front of him, but neither of them are teammates to him. Does he sort of play kind of a friendly role here?
I would.
I mean, does he let the 95 have the position, or is he going to fight him for it?
Looks like you're gonna fight him for it.
Yeah, I think that answered our question. No love lost, but probably behind the wheel thinking no love lost, but I kind of want that position. You see, he's doing everything he can to establish a position on the inside lane, and instead the 6 is following him. But also, I believe Trevor Collins is his brother, so he might do something to help his brother out over his friend. Hey, family comes first. Caution's out, I believe.
Yep.
So now we'll have our pit stops. Oh boy. Tim Horton really had to check up there. You see, he lapped Joshua Scully. Oh, Scully got run over. And the ARCA brakes all around. As you see, Tim Horton's gonna pit. And so will the rest of the leaders. So we'll watch these pit stops before we see what happened. Alright, here we go. 4 tire stop maybe. We saw some 2 tire strategies at Watkins Glen and it paid off. But of course this is a very different track from that. Clearly.
Well,
Yeah, no surprise there. He had a 2-second lead. And let's go see what happened. Short track temper's at its finest. 52 plows right over the
just
17.
moves him out of the way.
Yeah, and ultimately hurt himself because he got up in the marbles.
Mm-hmm.
So that is a tough break for the 47. They are last in the points entering this race and not the result they're going to want, as they also lost a lap because of that spin.
Yep.
So we will take you back to the green. In the words of Scooby and Shaggy, and I think I might get this wrong because I'm not good at impersonations, but ruh-roh is I guess the answer, as the 41 has blown up. That might end their playoff run, and that is heartbreak for Stacy Stickler. And if I'm in that Stewart-Haas camp knowing that there's 2 of those cars left in this playoffs, I would be very, very concerned.
I would be too.
And also if I'm in that 35 camp, because keep in mind, Stewart-Haas has an affiliation with Go Fast as we're back underway. See, the 12 going to try to put the 48 a lap down, and he might just do it. And he will. Pit stops really jumbled up the field. But look who's going to try to get his lap back. Here comes Alexander Rowe.
I think the one just pitted. No.
Yeah, I think it might be an off-sequence stop, unless it was the 41 that you saw.
I think it was the one, because one's not there anymore.
Yeah, maybe an issue for Frodemar Otts, and not the run he wanted. But here comes Alexander Rowe. Oh man, the 48 and the 14 just about got together. And it holds up the 10. Mina Monroe, she's going for a win, but are there team orders saying help the 14 at this point? And now the leader is held up. But again I ask, are there team orders that maybe the 10 has to back off to allow the 14 some space?
I don't think so.
I don't know. If this was IndyCar, I could see it being a clear team order. Help
Yep.
the 14 get his lap back.
Yep.
But here in Martinsville, there's just really no way to help him without wrecking him.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, you know, even though he's a lap down, he's really not in a bad position right now.
Nope.
I mean, yeah, he's a lap down. But he's going to be 21st in a second. So, I don't think it's a bad position to be in, especially considering Stacy Stickler just blew an engine and fell out of this race. But it's still not the best position to be in. And I'll bet these guys in front of Tim Horton, they've got to be begging for a caution right now to get caught up. Here we go. The lead is expanding once again for Tim Horton with 30 laps to go. I think Dylan Young's up to third, with Charles Sanford up to fourth. And now Trevor Collins is crawling back up into the mix. And Trevor Collins could go for something I don't think we've ever seen, a Martinsville sweep.
Possibly. 18 jumped up to 10.
Keep an eye on that 18 as well. He's your point leader right now. And of course, the other downside I forgot to mention, Stacy Stickler was trying to be the first female driver to win a Jello Cup championship. Unfortunately, that campaign, in all likelihood, is over. And this should help Fitzwater, and obviously, it'll help Tim Randolph. He for sure will crawl in if he survives this. But look at that lead grow. And shrink that time. And of course, Mina Monroe being held up by the 14 and the 00 right now. And we're almost at the end. And the question will be, do these guys have to pit again?
They might.
I mean, I can imagine that Tim Horton's saving fuel somehow, because he's out in front. I don't think the 10 can, because the 10 is pretty far back and stuck in traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And you see there, Dylan Young's got a ton of lap traffic battling around him. And Zach Fitzwater is one of those. He's fighting for his life, and unfortunately I don't think that fight's going to be enough. There's the 48. And there's the 96. Up, caution's out. And guess what? All those guys that were battling to stay on the lead lap, they get their lap back. An issue at the 6 and the 15.
Uh-oh.
Trevor Collins gets involved in a wreck. And of course, with all the guys a lap down, I think he'll be safe for now. Oh man, some tempers flaring. Saw the 18 get right in the back of the 38. Oh, 25 blew an engine. His day's done.
See what happens.
And we'll see. It's right side's on, and oh man, he's being held. They're all being held. And the 10's gonna win the race off. I think the 10 had a better sense of when those lights would turn green.
No, the 12 just went in front of the 10.
Oh, the 12's not going to give it up. I see. So the 12 will not give up the lead, although the 10 for sure beat him off. But now the leaders will be bunched up together. We'll see what happens. So let's go get a replay. Same issue as before. The 32 just gets fed up fighting with the 15. 32's lap traffic too.
Wow.
So I imagine that'll be a nice call to the hauler. And an issue for a separate incident for the number 6 of Trevor Collins. So let's back it up and see what happened. Oh, he just drove it wide and got up in the marbles.
Wow.
Oh, that's a tough break for them, and they continue to drive over those marbles. Oh man, that'll happen with worn tires. But let's take you back to the green. Welcome back. We get ready for green. Oh, another car just blew up. The 16.
What is with everybody blowing up today?
This is not a super speedway, guys. If you can't prepare a short track engine, this is pretty lame.
Wow.
Yes, I just completely roasted the field. You're welcome. Green flag is out. The Blow Your Engine 500 is back underway. And already some movement. Charles Sanford's going to lose a position. And this is the first time since the opening laps these guys have been close to Tim Horton. So we'll see if they can finally make something happen. See, the 10 dives it in. And I think Mina Monroe might be there. The question is, does she get aggressive and put the fender to the 12?
I would. It's for a win.
Oh man. But it's not for a trip to Zenjoltis for these guys. That's the other thing they gotta keep in mind.
The 2's there too.
And don't rule out that 2 of Dylan Young. He has not won a race yet this season. He is gonna fight hard in these final laps to make something happen. But you could just tell how strong that 12 car is.
10 to go.
10 to go. Doesn't look like the 10's able to really get a run.
No, I think the 12's has got this in the bag. If anything happens though, we'll see.
Yeah, we will see here as I think we got another caution.
Oh boy.
And now things get interesting, because I believe these 5 might have, I think 17 might have something to do with it. It's not over yet, guys. Let's go see what happened. And the caution is out for Zach Fitzwater. He loses his patience at the 20. And it's been a rough race for Fitzy. But I think that just about solidified his fate.
Oof.
And that's a tough break for him. He's not going to be happy after this one. So let's take you back to the green. Here we go. We're going to get 3 laps to go. When we get back racing. Another engine issue came from the 88.
That's
Oh
fine.
my gosh. 5 engine issues at Martinsville. Again. I guess it's a lot more complicated to build a short track engine.
Yep.
But what the hell do I know? I'm just an armchair analyst. The green flag is out. 3 laps of racing to go. And here comes the 2. He's wasting no time trying to make it a Penske 1-2. But the 10 will fight back.
Two to go.
2 to go. I just don't think, even if Dylan Young completes the pass, and he does, I just don't think he has the time to catch Tim Horton.
Coming to the white flag.
Yep, white flag this time. 1 lap to go till Zenjoltis. And the 42's on the pit lane. The 2 is there. He's got to exit this corner pretty well. And he just doesn't have enough to make a charge. And he won't, unfortunately. But it will be a Penske 1-2 as Tim Horton wins his 2nd race of the year at Martinsville. Congratulations to him. And guess what? 3 Team Penske cars in the top 10. Mitchell Collins comes home in 10th.
Ford's 1, 2, 3, 4.
Wow. And only 1 Chevy, 2 Chevys in the top 10. I tell you, the Fords have got this whole thing figured out.
Mm-hmm.
And they're going to be scary when we head to Zenjoltis to see what they're able to do. Anyway, we're going to show you the results, and we'll be back in 15 seconds to show you who will make the championship 4, although I think we got a pretty good idea of it. But we'll be back in a moment. The drive for 2 is over. Patrick Smith done. Carter Joey is done. Zach Fitzwater and Stacy Stickler are the drivers who miss out. And Chevy's got a chance to drive for 5. Tim Randolph creeps in. Alexander Rose, Samet Ozkan, and Trevor Collins will join him. And this is going to be an interesting playoff battle.
It will.
1 rookie, 3 veterans. 2 out of the 4 are Fords. And the Fords have been strong, so don't rule them out at Zenjoltis. As we get prepared to go there to finally crown the Season 5 champion. We want to thank you for watching. Austin, thanks again.
Been a pleasure.
And we will see you for race 36, the finale at Zenjoltis. Till then, goodbye everyone.